Hey y'all, it's Kate from LoveStory, and today we're going to be talking about music books. So, I am a huge 80s fan. I'm an 80s baby, and I love all the 80s music. And for Christmas last year, my mom got me 3 musical memoir biographies, autobiographies. And so today, I'm just going to talk a little bit about each one of them because those books are amazing, and I love them, and I love each one of the artists just as much. So the first book that I'm going to talk about is Me by Elton John. So this is a memoir written by Elton John. He writes about all of his experiences in the music industry and both the good times and the bad times, all of the addictions that he went through, him coming out and first realizing that he's gay, and then what that means in his life and coming out to his family and how they reacted. And it was really heartfelt, it's weird to say it's a real book, but when you read it you get a real picture of what it was like for Elton John in the 80s, going through everything he went through. And because it's Elton John, we get some amazing pictures. Can you see this? You know, he's got some really iconic outfits that he wore in his concerts in the early years. And this book gives us some amazing pictures. So first it starts off with his childhood and how he learned music and learned the piano, and then he talks about how he wasn't a very good songwriter lyrics wise, so he worked with a guy, I think his name was Bernie, who wrote the lyrics for him, and Ellen wrote the music along to it. And there was like several instances where they were writing the same song but didn't realize it until they came together and played it together. And it's actually it's really reminiscent of the now movie that they have of Elton John called Rocket Man, which is a fantastic movie, but definitely pick up this book. It's a big book, but it is just filled with insights that amazing pictures, so many different insights on Elton John, who I absolutely adore. His music is amazing. He's amazing. Elton John is one of the greatest all-time greats. If you're too young to know Elton John, think of The Lion King and all the music in there. He wrote most of it. So the Circle of Life, he's on it. Just go and look him up on YouTube. He's amazing. If you don't, it's sad that you have to look him up. If you don't know him, you need to know Elton John. He's just incredible. And then the next book that I'm going to talk about is called Wham, George Michael and Me, a memoir by Andrew Ridgeley, who, if you don't know who Andrew Ridgeley is, he is the second half essentially to the group Wham that was huge in the 80s. And one thing that you should know about me is I am absolutely obsessed with George Michael. A lot of people have what they call their spirit animals that are kind of their spirits, their insides. It encapsulates absolutely everything about them. I call George Michael my spirit person. He is the person I think about when I need an extra boost of self-confidence, happiness, everything good in the world. I listen to his music constantly. I talk about George Michael probably far too much. And when he died, like 3 years ago, I was absolutely devastated. So this book is written by Andrew Ridgeley. Like I said, he was the second half of Wham, and him and George Michael were also best friends for a good part of their life. They started as school buddies, and then they formed the band Wham together, and they still remain friends after George broke away from Wham and started his solo career. But this book, I think Andrew Ridgeley did an okay job of attempting to balance the giving, the behind the scenes look at Wham and George Michael, and still paying tribute to George's memory, because this book just came out last year, so it was after George had passed. And so Andrew Ridgeley, as one of the best friends of George Michael, still wanted to pay that tribute to him and still remain his integrity and not dirty his name, especially after he's gone, but also wanted to portray a real picture of him. So we also get pictures in this book. Let me try to find some kind of behind the scenes pictures. It's a beautiful book. It's a beautifully written tribute to George Michael. I think he would have liked it, would have been proud of Andrew for writing it. And it's tough to write a book like that balances those two lines. So hands up to Andrew Ridgeley for having the guts to write a book like that. And the last book I'm going to talk about today is one of my absolute favorite books, and one of my favorite artists. And that is The Beautiful Ones by Prince. This is an amazing book. It's co-written. So Prince started writing this before he died, and then his co-writer finished it after he died. But we kind of get, in the first half, we get kind of the text version of the book, which talks about Prince in the music industry in the 80s and growing up and all of that kind of stuff. But then in the second part of the book, we get, let me get it for you, we get Prince's notes, his handwritten manuscript of the book that he was writing when he died. It's just incredible. And then, of course, we get all of these pictures along with the text. Giant billboard of Prince. If you don't know Prince, you don't know Wham, you don't know George Michael, look all these guys up. And then we also get notes and manuscript copies of the film that he created, wrote, Purple Rain. It's a heavy book, and it's an expensive book because of all the pictures and the fancy pages that we have. But if you're a Prince fan like me, it's an absolute must-have. All three of these books. So The Beautiful Ones by Prince, Wham by George Michael and Me, and Wham, George Michael and Me by Andrew Ridgeley, and Me by Elton John. All really, really, really amazing books, amazing artists. What I did was I read the books while listening to their music along with it, and it made the experience incredible. I recommend all of these books if you're a huge 80s fan like me, or you just want to know more about pop stars and what they really go through. Take a look at it. They all came out last year, so they're probably on discount shelves now. I recommend the hardcover copies because they're just beautiful, but definitely get the hardcover copy of The Beautiful Ones, because that's insane, because Prince is known for his purple, and that's the front cover, and it's just beautiful. The other two I still recommend hardcover, but you can get paperback. They're not as fancy as the Prince one, but yes, check them all out. I'll put them in the description below. Like, comment, let me know who your favorite artists are, what your favorite musical books are, and don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification button so you get more of our videos. We'll see you next time.